Today I'll be sharing with you guys how I got my Finnish citizenship. 2 years, guys, like 2 years. It took me 2 years to get it. Between applying and actually getting it, 2 years. The steps that I took and also some of the challenges that I encountered. I'm going to tell you guys all about it. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be making the video that I've been promising you guys for a while now. Sorry I haven't made it because I've been so busy, but today let's do it. So if this is what you're interested in, click on the like button and let's get right into the video. So I moved to Finland in 2014, and at that time I wasn't really qualified for anything like even student benefits or anything like citizenship. I wasn't qualified because I had the temporary residence permit. That's the one for a student, and you have to renew it every year. So I wasn't really qualified for any of that, and I didn't really look into any of that. So I graduated after 2 years. That was in 2016, and then I joined the integration program that is offered by the city where you live in. Actually, it's offered in Finland, and the city you live in actually organizes it. So I joined the integration training program, and there they have like they teach the Finnish language, and then they teach culture and different things. You just learn a whole package like about Finland. So I joined. So there the other students were talking about the citizenship, because before you can actually get the Finnish citizenship, you need to speak the language, the local language. And the integration center, that's basically the main thing they do there, teach you the language. So most of the students that were there are actually there trying to study the language, learn the Finnish language, so they can write the UKI test. It's called the UKI test. Once you write that test, you need the certificate to apply for your citizenship. So it actually goes like that. When they started talking about it, I got interested. Okay, so I was like, you know what, let me check to see what it takes. So I checked, and then they said it's 5 years, so I didn't look anymore. But in class I heard that it's not it doesn't have to be 5 years, that they have some kind of a special circumstance where you can actually get the Finnish citizenship if you've been here for 3 years. So I won't lie, I got excited, like, okay, 3 years. Funny enough, initially I never really thought about it because I thought I wasn't like, it has to be many years before you can get the citizenship. So I didn't really like pay attention to it or start looking into it. I didn't pay much attention to it. So when they started talking about it, that was when I started Googling it. I'm like, okay, you know what, I can even get it earlier than I thought. Though if you ask me, I would say I didn't know what I needed it for. So that's another reason why I wasn't so keen, because I felt like, okay, what will you use it for? You're not traveling that much. I didn't have that kind of hurry or anything like that. But they just started saying, one of them said, what got my attention, he said that the Finnish passport is one of the most recognized in the world. And if you're traveling, if you have a Finnish passport and you're traveling, that they just let you pass, something like that. And, you know, life will be easier for you. Traveling will be easier for you. So when we graduated from that class, I mean, when we wrote the UKI test, so many students actually applied for the citizenship after we wrote the UKI test and we passed it. But for me, I didn't, because immediately after that, we were going to move to another city. I mean, so many things were happening. And I think I was pregnant with my second baby or so. So, I mean, I had a lot going on for me then, so I didn't really bother much. But I know that some of them applied, and I don't know if they really got it or not. So I want to believe they did, but because after we graduated, we weren't like seeing each other much, and I moved away from that city. So I wrote the UKI test and I passed it, and that was like a requirement for me. That was one of the major requirements. Once you pass the test, just go and apply already if you meet the number of years. And about the special requirement for the 3 years, although I feel like I met the requirement, because it actually states that if you have been living in Finland consecutively, meaning you haven't been living in another place for 3 years. I mean, it has to be some kind of special case, and then you have to be living in Finland all this time. You've not lived in another place. So and it costs money. It's not free. I don't want to apply and then I pay that much money and I don't meet that special requirement, and then I lose my money. So I'm like, you know what, there is no hurry. I mean, honestly, that was what I thought. There is no rush with it. I was not going to apply with that special circumstance. I'm going to wait till I'm actually qualified, 5 years, and then I will apply. So that was all the things. Those were the thoughts on my mind. And then coupled with the moving, and then coupled with having a baby and all that, or being pregnant then. So I didn't do anything. I will move to a new city. So during this period, some of my close friends were actually like bugging me, like, why have you not applied? Some of them don't really understand why I'm not applying. And one thing that one person said that actually caught my attention, she said, you never know what could happen. You never know what the future holds for you. You never know what will happen tomorrow. I mean, what if you just find out that you need it? You need the citizenship, or you need the passport, and you don't have it. How about you just apply for it and then just leave it there? Even if you don't need it, you don't use it, but apply and then keep it there, because nobody knows tomorrow. There can be some kind of world crisis, and then you may need your passport. Who knows? So that was what made me to apply. About 1 year after I've written that test, like after 1 year after qualifying and all that, that was when I applied. I sent in my application, filled the forms and everything, put in all the attached documents. 2 years, guys, like 2 years. It took me 2 years to get it, between applying and actually getting it. 2 years. So I sent in the application and I paid. After some time, let's say about 3 months, I got an interview date. So I went to Tampere and sat for the interview. It's actually easy, nothing very special or difficult like maybe in some other countries where they ask you about the history of the country and stuff like that. I heard that if you're applying for American citizenship, is like that. Like the interview can actually be rigorous. That's what I heard. I've never gone through one, so I don't know, but I heard this rigorous, and then they ask you for history, and then they want to know how much of the country you know. But the good thing is that here in Finland, when you're applying for the Finnish citizenship, they don't ask all that. They just want to know more about you, how long you've been here, what you're doing, I think. And then most importantly is for you to just go and show them your documents, like your passport, and then submit your picture and fingerprint, I think. So it's more about biometrics than investigation. They actually do investigation, but not by asking you questions. They have their own way of finding out things about you, doing the investigation both here and from your own home country, I think. So it's not by what you say, okay? So they just want to see you face to face, identify yourself, provide documents, put in your fingerprints and all that. But then for the investigation and all that serious stuff, I think they do it outside of the interview time, I think. I don't work there, but I think that's how it goes. So the interview wasn't rigorous at all. It was very simple. So that was that for the interview. And then they said I'm going to hear from them. And on the application page, you usually apply on a software that's or a website that's Enter Finland. So there you can see the processing time for your application. So over there, they just put it there for me. I think it was about 4 months or 2 months, I don't remember now, that they put that's my own processing time. So the time passed and I still didn't hear from them. I haven't heard anything. And I have a residence permit card that they give you every 4 years. So you renew 4 years and then 1 year and then permanent. So I was supposed to apply for the permanent one, but because I already applied for citizenship, I still had the 4 years one, or the extra 1 year. So I didn't do anything about it. I was thinking, okay, it's kind of too much work, or like unnecessary to actually waste time and effort and paperwork to apply, and money to apply for the permanent residency when I'm going to be applying for the citizenship. So I didn't hear anything. 6 months, nothing. So I had to call them one time. Meanwhile, I got a big bill from my telephone company for that call, because these are service numbers. It's not cheap. It's not free either. So about 2-3 calls, sent some emails and all that. So the conclusion of all that was that I have to apply for a new residence permit, or EU permanent residence permit, something like that, like an EU residence permit. So I applied for something of that nature, and then after a few months, they gave me interview date for me to go to that same place that was in Tampere, where I had the immigrant office where I did the first interview. I went there, and after the interview, which is still the same thing, simple, I spoke to the person there, the lady there, that I actually applied for citizenship, like it's 1 year now, and I'm more thereabout, and I'm waiting for it. Now I have to do this. So is this one necessary? She said, well, this one have to be active before I can get the citizenship. That one is still pending, but I have to do this. And then I waited for more months and I didn't get anything from them. I kept checking the processing time for both applications, the application for the residence permit and then the application, that's the permanent permit or EU residence permit. I've forgotten the name now, something like that. And the application for the citizenship. So I kept checking the times and for both of them, the processing time has passed, but due to the queue, you know, I still had to wait. It was still ongoing. Now, when you apply on that web page I talked about, there are like 3 phases. Okay, phase 1 is still there, and then phase 2, and then phase 3. So moving from that basic one to the yellow one, it takes like forever, you know. So, but once you get to that yellow one, I mean that middle one, that means it's processing. To move from that processing to decision is made it's easier because that means it's already been handled. But moving from stage 1 to stage 2 is where the problem is. That's where people actually wait for years and months endlessly. I kept checking, my processing time that it gave to me is over and it's still in that phase 1. And I will ask them, I sent an email actually once or twice asking them that the time is already over, what you gave to me, what do I do? The first time I sent the email was when I needed to, when my permit card expired. So I sent the email, what do I do now? So she said I should check the processing time and I responded that it is past already. And then they said, okay, you need to apply for the card, so which I did. After that, after waiting again for many months, I messaged again, okay, I've applied now. I just want to ask, is there a problem with my application? Is everything okay? So they sent me an email asking for more documents, like additional information for the application. And then actually the main information that I'm asking or they want to know is if I have lived elsewhere, like during this whole long time frame that my application is pending. Have I traveled out of Finland? Have I lived in another country and stuff like that? Is there anything in my life that has changed at the moment, like any information that is vital to the application that has changed? So I responded and gave them all the information that they needed, that nothing has changed, and I just answered the extra information that they're asking. So by this time, it's like over 1 year and 6 months that this whole time, from the application to this whole everything that is going on, 1 year and 6 months. So after about 3 months or so, I got response from them that my residence permit card has been approved and it will be sent to me, that I now have permanent residence or EU permanent residence, something like that. Like I've been saying when we started this video, that I don't really know what I need the citizenship for. I know that I do need that card because, I mean, sometimes you need to show it in places. But for the citizenship, I mean, how does it serve me? What do I use it for? I don't travel that much. The only thing I was really needing at the moment was a card because it made life easy, or it makes life easier going to the post office, and there's a whole lot of drama whenever I go there because of the different names and all that. So I just needed something that would make things easier for me. So having a card to show makes things easier. But yet, I mentioned this in one of my other videos, there's a particular woman there at the post office that I don't know what she has with me. She kind of gives me trouble. Like, she wants me to have my passport all the time. Even when I show her all of the cards and the pictures, she's like asking for more information. And then she said you should travel back and to Nigeria, I mean, to change the name there and get the passport. I'm like, okay, it's not possible at the moment. And then she said I should get from the police station some identification. So sometimes, I mean, I mentioned it in one of my videos. It was just too much stress, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to that post office anymore. I changed it to another post office. But the problem is, because it's the main one for this area where I am, whenever there is, sometimes my package still ends up in that place. So because of that particular post office drama, I was just looking for something that I can have, you know, that would make my life easier. So I wanted the card. So when I got the card, I was happy that I received it. And about the citizenship, I didn't bother to email them or call anymore. I just felt like, okay, it comes when it comes, you know. Whenever it comes, I'm fine with it. About 2 years after application, I was just in the kitchen cooking, and then my phone rang, you know, and then I picked it up. You know, that's why it's good sometimes to pick numbers, because sometimes you pick up those calls and then there are people trying to sell you some medicine, or trying to sell you some vitamins, or trying to sell, tell you to change your electricity and stuff like that. I mean, they're always marketing people calling. And they always call. Sometimes you think it's an important call, but then it's them, you know. But I'm glad I picked that call that day. So it was that number called me, and then I picked it up, and then the man was saying that he introduced himself, that he's calling from the Finnish Immigration Service, and then asked if I would like to have my Finnish citizenship in my maiden name or my husband's name. That means with my surname or with my husband's surname. I'm like thinking, okay, what is the difference? I asked him, what are the benefits if I have it in my name or if I have it in my husband's name? What are the benefits? What are the differences? You know, I just wanted to understand that so that I don't run into trouble in the future. So he explained that if you're having it, I think he was saying that if I have it in my own maiden name, and then when I travel to Nigeria, I may have some problem at the airport. I mean, he was explaining some kind of things. It was all very complicated explanation, but in my head, I was kind of weighing it and measuring up everything, like which one would be beneficial to me, like personally here living in Finland. I told you guys a problem I'm having at the post office with the 2 different names and all that. Funny enough, here in Finland, presently, I use my husband's name. That's my official name. In my bank information, my school certificates, like everything that I do is in my husband's name, except my Nigerian passport, which I brought from Nigeria and also renewed in Sweden, is in my maiden name. And secondly, my Finnish residence permit is in my maiden name. That's why I was running into problem with the post office woman. Well, that's the only person. Funny enough, I go to other places, they accept it. I just give them these 2 different cards, and then but the picture is the same, it's fine with them. But for that particular woman, somehow she's not just okay with the pictures and the names. And so I thought, okay, you know what, if I can now unify everything and have all my names, all my passports, everything in my husband's name, things will be easier for me. Like at least I don't have to go through that kind of stress that I was going through at the post office. So I told the man, please make everything in my husband's name. So let it be that I have 1 name here in Finland, not 2 surnames anymore. He said, okay. And then he ended the call. And after about a few days, I got an email that my Finnish citizenship application has been approved. You know, I was like, yeah, I was really, really excited about that. Like the wait was long, like 2 years, guys. But finally, I got it. And that wasn't even the end of it. After getting it, you need to apply for the Finnish passport, and that they don't give it to you. You have to apply, and that is another ball game altogether at the police station that you just have to apply there and pay as well. But I'm so glad that I've gotten through that stage. So getting the passport should practically be easy and shouldn't take so long. And good thing is that it didn't take so long to get the passport. I just applied at the police station. And the funny part is this. In the email granting me Finnish citizenship, they said that I cannot have the Finnish citizenship and the permanent permit at the same time. I mean, they don't go together. That I have to cancel the card. I mean, you know, the new card I just got, I told you guys I just got, you know, that I have to cancel it, and then it has to be discontinued and then destroyed and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, okay, that is a waste of card, a waste of resource, waste of time, waste of money. So that didn't bother me much, because I mean, if that's how things get done, then it is fine, because the main thing is that things get done, right? So I did as they said, you know, like I sent it back to them and everything was cancelled, and then I applied for the passport and paid and put the picture there and all that, and the process didn't take long. So the next thing I'll be sharing is a detailed application guide. That's the step-by-step process, how you can actually apply for the Finnish citizenship. What I just shared is my own experience, but I didn't share the legal requirements, how you can actually apply. That's filling out the forms, what are the documents required, what are the things that you need to attach, as well as how you can actually qualify for the Finnish citizenship. So all that I will be sharing either as a video here on my YouTube channel or on my blog. So definitely subscribe and click on that like button if you enjoyed this video, and share it with someone that you think this would help. And of course, check out the blog as well and sign up for the newsletter so that you don't miss any of my uploads there. So that's it, guys. Stay tuned, and I'll be seeing you in the next one. Bye.